Hey everyone, welcome back to Garnock Reviews, where today we're on board a 2016 Beneteau Swift Trawler 30. This boat's currently offered for sale for $269,500 and is lying in Jacksonville, Florida, and is offered for sale through Zeigler Yacht Sales. Boarding this boat is easily done through the extended bathing platform. You can do this on both port and starboard. And I really liked all the design features that's available in this aft cockpit. This includes the Flybridge steps that you can actually push towards the screen doors, or you can pull out whenever you're going to use them. The transom itself, it opens out and it's got built-in seating, and as well as being able to expand this to have an open aft cockpit, you can also bring the dining table from the saloon, since it's not fixed in place, and you can have that out here as well. On the starboard side, just in front of the transom, we've also got a built-in deck shower here, so if you are enjoying water activities, you can step back on here, you can rinse off without having to go inside the main cabin. On any boat, storage space is always something of a concern, but especially on a boat of this size, but I was really impressed with how much storage space is available. For example, underneath the floor of the aft cockpit, this will open up to a lazarette, and in here you will find that there's got a diesel generator, but it's also got storage for things like the boarding ladder that you can have. But this would also be an ideal place to put ropes and fenders to keep them out the way whenever the boat's travelling. There's a manual bilge pump handle stored underneath the hatch, and as you're about to see on the port hand side reading round the deck, I like the fact that it's got the manual bilge pump outside, so it's quick and easily accessible if you needed it. And then with this boat, if this was mine, I would always berth starboard side too, and you'll see why in a minute. But as you lead round through the port side, you do have the handrail and grab rail to hold on to, but admittedly the passageway is narrow. And then when you do make your way up to the bow, you can see we've got a large section in front of the windshield, but perfect for laying out cushions and sunbathing and just relaxing on board. And then at the bow, we've got an electric windlass here, and we've got a really deep anchor locker, and you could also put some ropes and fenders in here for the bow area as well. And this windlass can be controlled here, but it can be controlled at both the flybridge and the lower helm. And as we make our way around the starboard side, you'll see what I mean about preferring to be starboard side too. You've got a much wider passageway, you also have access to the lower helm, and you've also got walk-through access as a boarding, so if you wanted to berth this boat single-handed, it'd be very easy to do so. And as you step in the main saloon area, I love how much window space you have here, how bright an area it is, how much headroom you have, how bright the woodwork and the soft furnishings are, and it just makes this feel like a much larger boat for a 30-foot boat. In terms of accommodation, the main seating area you see here in the saloon, this has got 3 storage drawers underneath. In these drawers you've got infill cushions that flip over, and then this slides out and makes a double berth. And if you did want to use this as a cabin, the curtains that you see that lead round by the windows, this actually does slide through the forward and can then close these off for extra privacy. And then on the port hand side, we've got a number of different compartments here, and this includes the breakers for a lot of the electrics and electronics on board. You've got your Fusion stereo underneath it, and this can connect to your cell phone with Bluetooth and things like that. And down below we've got the AC and the DC controls, as well as for starting the generator. I like all the storage cabinets on this boat for the way that the doors lock into place. If you were taking this in rough weather, everything would stay safe and secure. And then as we head on round the boat, you see we've got a well-equipped galley, again especially for a boat of this size, where you've got the oven and you've got the double stainless steel sink. Underneath the sink is a fridge with an ice box. We have storage for all your cooking utensils, pots, pans, things like that. You've got a 2-burner hob up here as well. There's plenty of space for preparing meals. And then we've actually got a second fridge underneath with again another ice box, so there's plenty of storage on board to help prepare meals when you're cruising and when you're in the marina. And from here you can see those tracks I was mentioning earlier for the curtains that slide round, and that way you can enclose the main accommodation area into like a separate cabin if needed. Now, lower helm's located to the starboard side. This does have a doorway that leads out into the side deck for easy access, and this also has a mesh screen door if you wanted to have it open but keep the bugs out. And the helm seat is very much adjustable. This can be used as a seat, but it's also got the bolster support if you want to stand up. But it's also got a lever where you can slide the seat forward closer to the wheel, and again it's got a bolster that drops down, or you can push it back for extended space. Even the step for your feet is adjustable, and it can have a slide out effect for a raised platform, or it can be stored away. And the lower helm is well equipped. It's got the engine controls here, and this boat actually comes with cruise control. It's the first time I've ever seen that on a boat before. And just above the throttles is your trim tabs. This boat does have the bow thruster. It's got a Ray Marine. This is a multi-function unit. It's got the GPS, it's got the plotter, and it's got a radar built into it. There's an autopilot on board. And even the steering wheel itself, I really like the feel of the steering wheel if you wanted to navigate manually. And then as we head forward on the starboard side, this is where you'll find the heads compartment. And this heads compartment does actually have an electric quiet flush toilet. And there's plenty of storage in here for your toiletries and personal belongings. And Beneteau has actually kept the heads compartment and shower compartment separate. The shower's on the port side. And I love the headroom and space that's in the shower compartment. There's got to be about 6.5 foot headroom, something like that. And they've also moulded in like a little bench seating area if you wanted to sit down while you're getting showered rather than standing up. And then if you go to the owner's cabin, this has got a large double centre island berth. There's actually a lot of storage under this berth as well. And I like the fact you get as much natural light as well as artificial light. And you'll find there's different storage lockers and cabinets on both the port and starboard side, making this a perfect boat if you wanted to have weekend trips away, short vacations and things like that. And then as we head back through the boat towards the main saloon, this is where you'll find the engine of the boat. It's stored under here. And this boat's got a split personality. It was designed to cruise at around 8 knots, but it does actually have a maximum speed in excess of 20 knots. It's powered by a Volvo D6. This is a turbocharged diesel engine. It's got approximately 370 horsepower and it's got around 350 hours on the clock. It's a very clean engine in the engine bay, and there's plenty of room in here for doing your routine maintenance. You can also store some engine spares as needed, different oils and lubricants and things like that. And then the last area to show you is the Flybridge. And as I mentioned earlier, the Flybridge steps, they can be retracted or they can be enclosed. That way, depending on how much deck space you need in the aft cockpit. I love how much space is up in the Flybridge. There's plenty of seating here for your friends and family to be with you. And this is all under a large bimini cover, so you've got plenty of shade and protection. There's good deck space in the aft of the Flybridge. You can maybe put like a little grill up here. And the hatch does close if you wanted to seal that off. You've got very comfortable seating. You probably get about 4 adults here. And then you've got the main helm to the starboard side. I like the fact that Flybridge has much electronics. You've got the Ray Marine, it's an E95 chart plotter with radar. You've got the Ray Marine P70 autopilot. You've got the VHF, bow thruster control, and obviously your full engine instrumentation. And I'd like to thank everybody for their time and watching this video. I'd like to thank Mark Zeigler again for allowing me on board to take a look. And if anybody's interested, please reach out to Mark directly. And I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks everyone.